Werden. There are so many uses of Werden. So we're going to take a look at the three major uses of Werden. So, as I stated, there's three ways that Werden is used in German. And because it's an irregular verb, we want to make sure that we practice and memorize the Werden form, not just in the present tense, but also we look at it in the simple past tense as well. So make sure that you know them backwards and forwards, so then you can utilize them in the three main ways. So here it is in the present tense. Ich werde, du wirst, sie es wird, wir werden, ihr werdet, sie werden. Noticing that it's this is it as the helping verb or the auxiliary verb, but also just werden in the present tense. It's a stem vowel change verb, so the E becomes I in the do and sie es form. So looking at it by itself, werden can act as a verb, as a full verb. So it can be all by itself, it can be alone, and then it's not used as an auxiliary or helping verb. So when it's used by itself, it simply means to become. So ich werde reich. I'm becoming rich. So I'm not rich now, but I'm getting there. You can also think about it in the context of like getting to whatever that noun or adjective is. So ich werde reich. Es wird dunkel. So this one's a better one. You're not saying it becomes dark. It's better to say it's getting dark as a true English translation. So werde used by itself, no other main verb, so it is the main verb. Here it is wird. Es wird schon spät. So it's becoming already late, does not translate well, so it's already getting late. It's already getting late. So still present tense, present tense, present tense. Sort of as a funny, intelligent werden, right? So becoming smart or getting smart. Intelligent werden, Deutsch lernen. So get smart, learn German. And there's little Albert Einstein's head. So I thought that was, funny. The second time we look at werden is typically what's you learned at the first level of German, so future tense. Now it's going to be used as an auxiliary or a helping verb, so you have to use werden plus the infinitive form of the main verb. So werden is no longer alone, it's part of a verb phrase. So ich werde dir schreiben. I will write to you. So werden is conjugated for I, and then the infinitive form of the main verb, to write, is placed at the end of the sentence. Wirst du mich lieben, wenn ich 64 bin? Will you love me when I'm 64? It's a Beatles song, sorry. Wirst du mich lieben, wenn ich 64 bin? So werden is conjugated to go with the subject, and then the infinitive is placed at the end of the sentence. In this case, it's the end of the clause. So this is a two-clause sort of question here. Das wird sie verstehen. So werden conjugated to go with the subject. She will that understand. So verb in the second place, and then the infinitive of the main verb, verstehen, placed at the end of the statement, sentence, or clause. So, hier, cooler Regenschirm. Wir werden alle nicht nass. Cool umbrella. We will not get wet. So this one is used as the full verb. So we could say, wir werden alle nicht nass sein, und so weiter. And poor ER, oh, already. I'm already wet. Pior. So this one is better as a full verb because there's no infinitive at the end of the sentence. So just watch out. So full verb versus auxiliary or helping verb. The most recent practice of Werden is used as the passive voice. So when we look at Werden in the passive voice, we use Werden, and then we use the past participle form of the main verb. Zum Beispiel essen, gegessen, fahren, gefahren, kaufen, gekauft. So those are the past participles. Gekauft, gefahren, gegessen. So, das wird oft gesagt. That is often said. So Werden now takes the passive voice is place, and then the past participle is placed at the end of the sentence. Sie werden nach Deutschland geschickt. So you're not sending yourself, but someone else is sending you. So it's passive voice. Werden conjugated to go with the subject. Past participle, schicken, geschickt at the end of the statement. Wir werden mit dem Taxi abgeholt. So abholen is a separable prefix. Watch your placement of ge in the past participle. Once again, werden conjugated. And then the past participle form at the end of the sentence. So as a little Gebrüder Grimm Märchen, as a little fairy tale, here we have a prince and wird gleich küssen. So in the context of this, wird gleich küssen, he will immediately kiss. So he's actually doing the kissing. So this is active voice. Will is the helping verb and then the infinitive form placed at the end. Sie, so Sleeping Beauty, sie wird gleich geküsst. This is the passive voice, right? She is immediately being kissed. She's not kissing herself. So it's the passive voice, not the active voice. So notice the difference. It's still Werden conjugated, but when we're talking about it as a helping verb or the future tense, then we want to make sure that we have the infinitive here. But if it's the passive voice, that becomes the past participle. Küssen, geküsst. Now, what we've looked at so far have all been examples in the present tense, but of course we know there's other tenses. Past tense, we want to make sure that we remember what the past tense of Werden is. So, as a friendly reminder, in case you want to put any of these sentences in the past tense instead of present, the simple past is Ich wurde, du wurdest, sie es wurde, wir wurden, ihr wurdet, sie wurden. So pretty logical endings here, but we now have a you as our main verb. So I could use it as a full verb. Instead of saying sie wird Politikerin, she is becoming, I could say she became. So sie wurde Politikerin. Das Haus wurde in 3 Monate gekauft. So not das Haus wird in 3 Monate gekauft. It's not it is bought in 3 months. It was bought. So now to make this past tense, das Haus wurde in 3 Monate gekauft. So any of those previous sentences, we can switch out the present for the past tense. So things to remember. Think about it in terms of sort of math. Grammar, in a sense, is quite logical and has very specific rules like math does. So here's my formulas. If it's Werden plus an infinitive, that's going to be future tense. If it's Werden plus a past participle, that's going to be passive voice. And if it's Werden all by itself, it's the full verb, meaning to become or getting, whatever. So those, I think, would be extremely helpful to remember. And thinking about those 3 formulas, go ahead and take a minute to write these 6 sentences down. After you have written these sentences down, place a FV next to the ones where Werden acts as the full verb. Place an F next to those where Werden acts as the future tense. And then place a P next to those sentences where Werden acts as the passive voice. And we'll check those later. Danke.